Hi, my name is Lauren Kaminsky, and today for my presentation, I will be discussing students with diagnosed mental health disorders, impact on learning, and ways to increase successful outcomes for this population. So with that, I am going to define the target population. So according to the Center for Disease and Control, in a report they did in 2019, mental disorders in children and youth are described as serious change in the way children typically learn, behave, or handle their emotion, causing distress and problems getting through the day. And as you can see, that is a really big definition for what actual mental health disorders are. And so we'll dive into that in just a little bit. Um, it is estimated that 17.1 million children of the 55.5 million children enrolled in schools across the nation, that these children and youth are impacted by a mental health disorder before the age of 18. Mental health disorders are the most common health issues faced by school-aged children in the United States. So those are just some statistics to keep in mind as we move forward. Some more facts about mental disorders in U.S. children and youth. According to that same report by the CDC, the most common diagnosed mental health disorders in the U.S. are ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And as you can see over to the right, about 6.1 million children have received an official ADHD diagnosis. Approximately 4.5 children aged 3 to 17 years old have a diagnosed behavior problem. Some examples on the left are oppositional defiant disorder, conduct disorder, and then anxiety, which is found in approximately 4.4 million children ages 3 to 17 who have been diagnosed with this mental health disorder, and depression. And that is the lowest among the ones that we've discussed over here. However, almost 2 million children and youth have a diagnosed depression disorder. The impact of childhood mental health on learning and development can be pretty significant. So research reported by the Center for the Developing Child at Harvard University shows that development of sound mental health is really built early in life through experiences and interactions with the environment and relationships. These relationships are all relationships with parent to child, peer relationships, sibling relationships, relationships with teachers or other staff and professionals. So just keep that in mind moving forward. And any disruptions during these critical developmental time periods have been shown to significantly impact learning and relating to others, and really have substantial consequences later in life. So children with mental health disorders, they're more subject to higher risk of school discipline as well as school failure. So amongst this population, there's higher risk of office referrals and discipline issues, suspensions, in-school and out-of-school suspensions, as well as overall school dropout rates are higher among students with a diagnosed mental health disorder. And the consequences for later in life, as you can see, are underemployment, higher incarceration rates, and reduced quality of life. Mental health disorders can impact classroom learning as well as social interactions. So attention issues, behavior concerns resulting in a student being removed from class, as we discussed previously, disorganization, high distractibility, lack of concentration, which then impacts understanding and processing the academic content. And something I thought was really interesting was this notion that we are not born with developed brains. Our brains are really developed over time based on our experiences. So some strategies of the school social worker to address this target population. to address the mental health needs of the student while also increasing optimal outcomes, working with the teachers and other staff and really understanding what the mental health diagnosis is and how to work with the student's unique needs. Working with the student and the family to link them with resources to address these mental health needs, create an environment that promotes and fosters healthy relationships. How do we handle peer conflict, healthy self-regulation skills, learning skills? How do we focus our attention, concentrate, become aware of that, and overall just create a safe space and an environment for students to succeed? Some preventative and proactive measures also be in place. I provide an example of taking a self-regulation break when there's an anticipated trigger and event occur, like testing anxiety, a change in schedule, etc. The role of the school social worker also providing mental health education and advocacy for this type of education in the school, professional development and training for teachers and other school staff regarding what childhood mental health and diagnosis really looks like. How do we work with students who have this unique need and really help them embrace them as a whole child. Providing mental health education as a preventative and multifaceted approach. The knowledge and linkage with children and youth mental health workers in the area, and utilizing research-based socially emotional learning programs and behavior interventions that support and promote this type of learning. So PBIS, we have the MTSS process at our school, which is the multi-tiered systems and supports, and really that knowledge of appropriate assessments and screenings. Role of teachers and other staff, the implementation of strategies and skills, as we had discussed, the knowledge of what to look for and really understanding the triggers and behaviors and how to appropriately address them. Advocating for educational needs when they see that the mental health disorder is impacting the students' academics, incorporating social and emotional learning into the daily curriculum as discussed earlier, and working as a team to provide multi-tiered support in the knowledge of resources. And here are some helpful resources as well. The Center for Disease Control is a resource in the state of Ohio, so it lists here on this website pediatricians, licensed social workers, psychiatrists, psychologists, based off the county. National Association for Mental Illness has a lot of really, really great resources. Child Mind Institute, Center for Disease Control, and Associate for Children's Mental Health. I thank you for listening to my presentation.